All right, let's dive right in. We're heading into the shadowy world of cyber attacks, but we're not just looking at the aftermath. We're talking about a super cool field called memory forensics. Basically, it's how you catch the digital ghosts that are haunting a computer system right now.
So let me ask you this, and it's a question that really gets to the heart of modern cybersecurity. How do you catch a hacker who leaves absolutely zero trace on the hard drive? I mean, think about that. This is the huge problem security teams are up against every single day. The bad guys are getting so much smarter using these techniques that just make them completely invisible to your standard security tools.
Okay, let's set the scene here. Imagine this. A huge company gets that dreaded alert. They've been breached. The security team just scrambles, right? But it's like they're chasing a ghost.
I mean, they throw everything they have at this. Every tool in the arsenal. Antivirus scans, they come up totally clean. They're doing these super deep forensic dives on the hard drives, searching for any sign, a malicious file, a weird log entry, anything. And they find nothing. Zip, zilch. Can you imagine how terrifying that is? You know someone is inside the house, but you just can't find them. Okay, so clearly the old way isn't working. We need a totally different way of thinking about this. The analogy I love is this. Traditional disk forensics. That's basically archaeology. You're digging through digital dirt, looking at old artifacts on the hard drive to figure out what happened yesterday or last week. But memory forensics, that's live surveillance. You've got eyes on the target, watching what's happening right this second.
And to do that, we have to look at a very special place, the computer's volatile memory, which you probably know as RAM. You can almost think of it as the computer's consciousness, you know? It's short-term memory. It's holding everything that's happening right now. Every program you have open, every website you're connected to, and this is the important part, every single active threat. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. It's called volatile for a reason. You pull the plug and poof, it's all gone, vanished, forever.
So you see where this is going, right? If the attacker is a ghost, the only place you're going to find it is in that consciousness, that live memory. And this is exactly where our digital detective, the forensic analyst, starts the hunt.
And they've got a playbook for this. It's pretty methodical. Step 1, capture a perfect snapshot of that live memory before it disappears. That's critical. Step 2, start the hunt by listing out every single process that's running. And then step 3, the fun part. Find the weird stuff, the anomalies, the things that just don't look right.
And you know, the first big clue, the first thread they pull on, is almost always a process that's trying to hide. See, the really sneaky malware can make itself invisible to the operating system. It uses this technique, it's a mouthful, called Direct Kernel Object Manipulation, or DKOM. But all it really does is tell the operating system, hey, you know that official list of running programs? Just take me off it. Pretend I'm not here. It literally unlinks itself.
So, what happens? The analyst comes along, uses a standard tool, and asks the operating system, hey, what's running right now? And the OS, being lied to, just gives back a perfectly normal-looking list. You've got your usual suspects, Explorer.exe, Chrome.exe, you know the drill. Everything looks totally fine. The malware is hiding right there in plain sight.
But, and this is the magic trick, a memory forensics tool doesn't bother asking the operating system. Why would it? It knows the OS can be tricked. Instead, it goes straight to the source. It scans the raw memory directly, looking for the digital fingerprints of a process. And then, bam! There it is. A hidden process pops up that wasn't on the official list, xservice.exe. Suddenly, our ghost has a name.
Okay, so we found it. We've got a name for our ghost. But now the real question is, what's it doing? And this, my friends, is where the investigation gets really, really interesting. Because these attackers, they are absolute masters of disguise. A lot of the time, they use a tactic called living off the land. It's a brilliant and devious idea. Instead of dropping some big, obvious virus file that's easy to spot, they just use the tools that are already on your computer. Legitimate, trusted tools like PowerShell. And because those tools are supposed to be there, antivirus software just lets them do their thing. It's looking for known bad files, not good tools being used for bad things. And that's pretty much the definition of a fileless attack. And we're not talking about simple commands here. They run these ridiculously long, complex commands that are all encoded to look like gibberish. I mean, look at this. It just looks like a jumble of characters, right? But it's not. It's an entire program, a malicious tool, hidden in a single line of text. PowerShell executes it directly in memory, so there's never a file to find on the hard drive. It's incredibly stealthy.
Another massive red flag for an analyst is something called process ancestry. Basically, who started what? You might find a process tree that looks something like this. And you look at it and go, wait a minute, w3wp.exe is a web server. Its job is to serve web pages. It should never, ever be starting a command shell, let alone one that then starts PowerShell. It just doesn't happen in normal operations. This is a textbook sign of a web shell, a backdoor an attacker is using to run commands on the server.
So what are they doing with this access? What's the prize? Well, they're going shopping inside the system's memory. And RAM is a gold mine. It's just a treasure trove of the good stuff. Passwords, sometimes in plain text, authentication tokens, encryption keys, user hashes, the whole shebang. And once they have that stuff, they can move anywhere they want across the network.
All right, so let's recap. We found the hidden process. We know what it's doing, but we're not done yet. There's one last crucial step. We have to cut the attacker off for good. And to do that, we need to find their lifeline, that connection back to their home base.
And this is it. By digging through all the network connections stored in that memory snapshot, the analyst hits the jackpot. There it is, clear as day. Our little ghost process, xservice.exe, has an active, established connection to some shady-looking external IP address on a really weird port. This right here is the smoking.
And just like that, the ghost is completely unmasked. That connection isn't random at all. That is the attacker's command and control channel, their C2. It's their two-way radio. It's how they send commands in and pull your data out. And now that the security team has that IP address, they can finally block it, sever that connection, and kick the intruder out.
So let's just take a step back and think about what we just saw. It's so important to understand just how powerful this technique really is. I mean, in a world full of these super stealthy attacks, memory forensics isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's become absolutely essential for any serious incident response.
It really is like giving investigators X-ray vision. Suddenly you can see those fileless attacks that are living off the land. You can find the processes that are actively hiding from the OS. You can see the exact commands the attacker is running in real time. And of course, as we just saw, you can pinpoint their C2 channel and shut them down for good.
You know, when you boil it all down, it's this simple. Disk forensics tells you what an attacker did. Memory forensics tells you what an attacker is doing right now. And in a world filled with threats that are specifically designed to be invisible, that makes memory forensics our single most powerful lens. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If a computer's memory really is like its consciousness, holding all its thoughts and actions from one moment to the next, what secrets might be hiding inside yours? Thanks for tuning in.